Agentforce now is the most powerful tool in our tool belt. We have the trust layer that gives us the confidence to deploy generative AI in a responsible way. We have the grounding in our knowledge base, which produces relevant responses for our customers. And then we have the actions layer, which allows us to resolve more cases.
Agentforce is the solution that allows us to serve our members in the way they expect today and in the future. We loved that human touch that came through in a really natural way with Agentforce.
We can use Agentforce to reach out to our providers and create awareness in the same way that a sales development rep would in any sales organization. With Agentforce, our dream of reaching 1 billion people is a reality.
Welcome to 3 Ways to Unlock Limitless Sales with Agentforce. I'm your host, Kerry Chow, and we're coming to you live from Agentforce headquarters, the Salesforce Tower in San Francisco, where we're about to break down all the latest Agentforce for sales capabilities. All right, over the next hour, you'll discover how you can simplify and supercharge your sales process with a digital labor platform. We'll explain all about that. Plus, we'll show you how Agentforce for Sales lets your team focus on what they do best, building relationships and closing deals. You'll hear from product experts, dive into 3 transformative use cases, and see how Agentforce helps you build a truly limitless sales team. Limitless, like that old Bradley Cooper movie. Y'all remember what I'm talking about? Anybody? No? Whatever. Listen, this is such a big deal. We even have a live audience on hand to witness this today. How's everybody doing? Can you raise some hands? Raise some roofs? Give some shouts? Thumbs up to Bradley Cooper? No? All right, forget about Bradley Cooper. All right, of course, thank you to all our viewers from around the globe who are joining us right now on Salesforce Plus. So here's what's coming up. First, we're going to hear from the guy leading the charge, Chris Billmayer, the EVP and GM of Sales Cloud. He will explain 3 ways Agentforce can create a limitless sales team today. Then, demo time. See how easy it is to build with Agentforce. We stick to our low-code Salesforce roots when it comes to building AI agents, so really, you're just clicks away from becoming an Agentforce master. After, you'll hear from 2 of our customers on how they're using agents to transform their sales teams. And to prove we're not just all talk, we actually walk the walk. We're going to show you how Salesforce itself uses Agentforce. Then, it's your chance to get hands-on with Agentforce. Stay tuned right after this event for an exclusive virtual training. Our instructors will walk you through setting up and customizing AI agents for sales development and coaching. All right, so listen, we got a lot of nutritious yummies on the menu today. You probably got some questions at home like, hey, what are the ingredients? Don't forget to join the chat on Salesforce Plus. Our experts are standing by to answer your questions. We'll even take some of your questions live later on in the show. All right? Enough of the hype. Let's do this. Let's hear from the crowd one more time. Woo! Joining me at the desk is our first Agentforce All-Star, the EVP and GM and Head of Sales Cloud, Chris Billmayer. Chris, so good having you here at the desk. First up, though, let's get right into this. We're going to ground ourselves in what everybody is talking about, fueling your sales team with digital labor. And I'm going to repeat that just to make sure it resonates. Fueling your sales team with digital labor. When I say that, what am I talking about?
Well, first, awesome to be here with you. Thanks for bringing the energy this morning. Digital labor is really the next evolution. You know, we started with predictive AI around 10 years ago, really that next best action that you take. And then last year, we got into that assistive AI moment, really drafting emails for you, doing things on your behalf. Now we're in the autonomous age. So autonomous age is where Agentforce comes in. We've already launched Agentforce 2.0 to make it easy to deploy, but this is really the mindset and the time in which we're doing things on a user's behalf and making sales teams limitless.
Limitless, again, like...
Yeah, limitless.
It's wild to me and how quickly AI and the tech is changing. Because you just said last year, assistive AI, right? We're just getting used to this, and we're already on Agentforce 2.0. But the thing I love about Salesforce is we're not about all the flash. We're truly about substance, right? How is Salesforce making sure businesses get the AI that they truly actually need?
Yeah, it's a great question. First, I just want to say we are reimagining Sales Cloud in the agentic layer. That's the autonomous and that's the assistive AI. We've already delivered the complete sales solution from pipeline to paycheck. And now with Agentforce built in, we're taking that to every step of the sales and revenue journey. And I won't steal thunder from the team that's coming up here, but we've got some pretty amazing demos to show you what we're doing. Agentforce is the tool that can really help scale teams with digital labor. And what's really exciting is we're bringing humans and agents together to make humans more productive with agents. And the future of sales is here. And we're ready to unlock sales teams' full potential. And again, with that limitless sales team, these are the autonomous agents that assist you, that don't get tired, that don't take vacations, that do all the things to make you more productive.
I love no vacations, not restricted to time zones, like completely limitless. You got me pumped. I'm excited to see what you're working on. Give us the details.
Yeah, absolutely. So Agentforce, as I mentioned, is your new autonomous digital labor platform. And what we've done is we've taken and we've pre-built skills out of the box to help you with prospecting to quoting. So today, we're going to show you a bunch of stuff. We're going to show you how Agentforce helps sales teams nurture your leads at scale 24/7, coach your reps autonomously. This is one of my favorites. And then really create accurate quotes faster. We're really excited about the quoting piece of this. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming.
I can't wait to see the agentic coaches that you were just mentioning. But as you mentioned, this is just the tip of the iceberg of all the cool things we got for you on hand today. Chris, though, you're constantly talking to executives and leaders at other companies, a lot of decision makers. I'm curious, what are their main concerns right now? But also, how is Agentforce going to be a groundbreaker for them?
Yeah. You're right. We talk to CSOs and CROs every day, and I talk to our CRO every day. The one thing that's consistent in the theme is our CROs and CSOs are being asked to do more with less. It's really how do you take your sales teams that are already stretched thin and scale them beyond that without just adding new headcount? How are we making the most of the sellers that we already have? And really the answer is Agentforce for Sales. Again, not trying to steal thunder, but one of our product experts here is going to show you this later. We're going to talk about how agents do work for you to free up sellers to focus on the important things like building relationships with customers. So agents really free up sellers to get back to what they love doing, which is actually engaging with customers and selling.
I love all of this, but with the new technology brings a common question, right? There's concerns about, especially AI, right? We've all seen science fiction. There are concerns about security and trust. How can we trust these agents?
Well, great question. Salesforce number one value is always trust, and that's not changed. We are customer zero ourselves. So everything we build and we deploy, we use our tech internally to ensure it's reliable, it's trusted, and it's super valuable. And we also do it to supercharge our sellers. And again, one of our other product experts is going to come up in a moment and show how we use Agentforce Coach. And we're actually using our Agentforce Coach with 20,000 of our sellers internally already today. So I mean, that's really amazing. We're seeing the value from our own tools first, and then later we're going to talk about how we use Agentforce to quote faster as well. And again, we're customer zero in all of these things. We want to make sure that our teams are the most effective that they can be, and they could be limitless as well. So we're really excited about it.
20,000 sellers?
20,000 sellers.
That's wild to me already,
yes.
Right? Okay, so very reassuring to know. It brings me, though, to another question about AI and technology, because there's a lot of competition out there working on their own AI products. What makes Salesforce such a differentiator, but even more specifically, Agentforce for Sales?
Yeah, Salesforce was made for this. I mean, we launched Agentforce in December, and it's been going great. Great AI comes from great data. And what I always like to tell our customers is that great data comes from our applications. And so with the combination of humans plus AI, plus data, plus CRM, that really equals Salesforce. And again, we were built for this moment. Data Cloud has been a great innovation for us. It integrates and harmonizes data to make agents knowledgeable, to make agents as incredibly intelligent as they possibly can be. And our Customer 360 profile across all touch points with customers, that's where that data comes from and makes this one connected experience and really makes it AI ready for our customers. And even better, this is built into the Salesforce platform, so there's no need to learn a new set of technologies. You use the same flows, the same Apex, the same profiles, everything you already know today. Salesforce was made for this.
I love that. And as a guy who can barely turn on his own laptop, right? Knowing like the same technology, we're dealing with incredibly game-changing technology, and it's just clicks,
Yep.
right? And all within that same Salesforce ecosystem, faster time to value. I love it all. So let's talk about what we got going on today here, Chris. What are your teams specifically going to show us?
Yeah. So like I said, we brought along a bunch of product experts who have built these agentic skills. So we're going to show you live demos for some common use cases, including sales development, coaching, and quoting. We're going to talk a little bit with show you some customer interviews for people who are already having success in agentifying their own experiences, and this is really going to be awesome. And I'm really excited to see these demos myself.
I can't wait to see it myself. Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
I know our virtual audience will have plenty of questions about what they're going to see today, so please go ahead and post them in the chat on Salesforce Plus. Chris is going to be back at the end of the show to answer some of them. All right, right now we're going to go through how you can build pipeline 24/7 with Agentforce, and we're going to turn it over to our first Agentforce product expert, my man Victor Liu. What's going on, Victor? So good to see you. Look, the crowd is amped up. What do you got in store for us today?
Thank you so much, Carrie. I am so thrilled to be here. I lead the team building out Agentforce for sales development. I'm so excited to share with you all today about how Agentforce is going to help sales teams automate lead nurturing and build pipeline so that our human sellers can focus on what they really love to do, which is to close deals. Prioritizing and nurturing leads is a challenge for any sellers at any organization. Their bandwidth is limited. Lead nurturing is very time consuming and also very frustrating. This means that there are many leads that go untouched, opportunities that end up being untapped. And this is why my team is starting with this use case with Agentforce. This is where we really could help out our team scale and help them reach every single lead. Imagine having a dedicated sales development rep that's working for us 24/7. They don't need a break. They always have the most up-to-date product information to answer any customer question and to help us book meetings. So Agentforce ensures that every single lead is nurtured and handed off seamlessly so our sellers are set up for success. But I think it may be a little bit better to see it all live, so let's dive into this demo. We're going to start off our experience here inside of Agentforce setup to walk through how easy it is to be able to get this up and running. We're going to turn on our prereqs, assign our agent user, and give access to our admins to be able to have access to the application. But where the value really lies is us jumping into this turnkey agent wizard to start activating and configuring. We're going to start off with this ability for us to look at topics. And we can think about topics sort of like jobs to be done. There are snippets of instructions, groupings of actions that inform our agent what to do. Next, we're going to take a look at some basic details that we're going to define for our agent on its role and the company that it works at using simple, natural language. Here, we can see that Agentforce is working for Omega Industries, which is a supply company focused on a couple of key verticals like consumer goods and healthcare. We're going to be ensuring that our agent is able to communicate in the same way that our sellers communicate today with the same tonality and language. And what I love about our agent is the ability for us to be able to train it using the same materials, documents, PDFs that we use today to be able to onboard our sellers. Using Data Cloud as our vector database, we could upload all of this information in and ensure that we're able to ground every single response with accuracy and relevance using retrieval augmented generation. Here, we're able to provide some guardrails for our engagement rules. When does this agent end up being assigned? What is the number of touch points that our agent could engage with our customers with? And what is the time that we actually talk to our customers on? Before we activate our agent, we're going to take in one more step, which is to be able to personalize this communication. And instead of our team managing across thousands of different email templates, we could create one super prompt that's going to take in all the KPIs, all the personalizations across the roles, the industries that we go after, such as me adding an additional line here to target a new persona that is showing up in my research, such as an operations manager and the KPIs that matters for this specific role. Now, let's swap over to the runtime experience. And as we're thinking about how our agent is going to engage with this prospect, let's take a look at that back and forth conversation. First, we're taking a look at how Melanie is personalizing this communication by pulling in all the different details on this lead record to ensure that we're able to target Titan construction based on the KPIs that matter, such as lowering maintenance costs and reducing project timelines. And here, we're gonna have a conversation once Roman responds. Roman's gonna ask questions related to drills and fasteners. And you can see here, we're using those very same documents that we uploaded in earlier to provide an accurate and relevant response to Roman's question. We're gonna go back and forth a couple of times here to be able to build trust with Roman, but there's going to be a situation where Roman's gonna lob a question that our agent is not equipped to answer, such as a question related to discount. Here, we're ensuring that human sellers are fully in the loop. We're CCing Grace, the VP of Sales. We're continuing the conversation to ensure that we could book for that meeting. But what is so great about this agent is the fact that it doesn't just do a single engagement. It's scaling across hundreds, thousands of different touch points so that we could ensure that our sellers are waking up in the next morning with a calendar full of events. So Carrie, what do you think?
Oh, I'm floored. The audience is probably stoked too, seeing that. That was incredible. Everybody's pumped. But let me give a quick play-by-play if I'm understanding this correctly, because it did seem pretty wild to me. I just saw in Gmail how the agent was able to interact with my prospects, right? I didn't have to do a thing. I'm drinking my morning coffee, wasting too much time on Instagram, scrolling away, and the agent actually sent out personalized messages, replied to questions, all accurately, and using my CRM data and all the company documents. That's what I'm getting there. That's summarizing that, which is insane to me. Victor, looking to the future, how do you see Agentforce evolving to support companies with other top-of-the-funnel activities like the one you just showed us?
I'm so excited to highlight two areas that our team is going to be focusing on this year. The first is to really make Agentforce accessible to every single customer. We're focused on turnkey setup, making it easy to deploy, boosting your speed to value, but really simplifying the way we're providing instructions to our agent. Second, we're gonna invest deeply into embedding these agents further into our sellers' flow of work, whether it's through expanding the different actions that our sellers already take today, such as researching, qualifying, and doing data collection, but we're also trying to do it to meet customers where they are at through the various channels that they are communicating on, like voice.
Thank you for that, Victor. I mentioned this before, but there's a lot of competition out there when it comes to the promise of AI-powered SDR solutions. So you're in the thick of it, right? Your hands are dirty, you're dealing with all this agentic technology. What sets Agentforce apart from all the rest?
What really differentiates us is that Salesforce for the past 25 years is already the place where sales teams work. We understand what good looks like, with details about each customer relationship, how sellers are already taking action and communicating with their customers. With ops teams, our ops teams could take the best practices, the business processes, and this gives every customer such a tremendous head start to make an agent that actually creates value. Because these agents are only as powerful as the data and insights that you end up feeding it. Also, Agentforce is built so that it's easy on default and advanced by choice. These templates get you up and running very, very quickly, and in the case that you want to make it your own, the entire Salesforce platform is available to support your custom development, such as custom topics, actions, flows, and even Apex.
I love it. Thank you, Victor. Live audience, give him another round of applause. Arsenio Hall, woo-woo-woos. Victor's going to be back in a little bit to take some viewer questions. All right now, let's hear from a customer who's using exactly what Victor just showed us, VTT. They're a leading research organization in Europe and focused on sustainability. My colleague Diane Mazzotta had a chance to talk to VTT's sales development lead, Michael Bach, about how they're succeeding with Agentforce. Take a look.
Hi, Michael. Thanks for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit about VTT's mission?
Hi, Diane. I'm really happy to be here and share our experience with the SDR agent. We are one of the leading research institutes in Europe. Our mission is to solve the biggest challenges in the world through science and technology. And we always aim for impact and aim to impact with our customers.
What were some of the biggest challenges your sellers were facing when it came to prospecting and building sales pipeline?
So we kind of felt that our salespersons, they were doing the prospecting and not having enough meaningful interactions with our customers. So we were looking for kind of solution that they can focus 100% on the customer interactions and not wasting any time with the admin or kind of behind the scene repetitive tasks.
And so why did you choose Agentforce as your digital labor platform?
First, safety first. So we got the kind of permission to explore all the AI features and capabilities there were. And only message that we got from the top management was that, or the clear message was that explore, try, fail, but do it in a safe way. But trust and safety is what kind of Salesforce is providing us. So I can sleep my nights kind of pretty well. So I can rely on Salesforce on this topic. So we don't need to worry about that. Then the second one is that kind of the easiness of deploying and taking the agents into use. The project took something like a few weeks, kind of taking the out-of-the-box version into use. And then third, we are kind of building a foundation for our kind of new agents that we are already building.
Wow. I mean, I think that's so cool that you were given permission to look around the AI landscape, and what was really important to you was trust and security. So can you walk us through what the process of getting started with Agentforce was like?
It was a straightforward deployment project. It took just a few weeks, and kind of now we are already in production and kind of seeing the benefits that the agents are providing us. We kind of feel that the SDR agent is kind of like a human SDR who is starting a new job. So they need instructions, onboarding, training, etc., so that they can kind of do their job. But if it's kind of a really hot lead for us, then the agent will transfer that possible lead directly to a human. The future looks really promising and exciting for us.
Well, we love to hear that. It sounds like a really, really nice win for your company and a win for us. So thank you for joining us, Mikhail.
Thank you.
And our thanks to VTT and Diane. We're going to see plenty more of Diane coming up in this show. So we've shown you how Agentforce can help with sales development. Now let's see how Agentforce can coach sellers to close their deals. I'm going to bring in our second Agentforce product expert, Madeline Gill. Maddie, to the layperson, which is definitely me, when I hear sales coaching, I'm thinking, hey, that's actually something only a person can do. Why do sales teams need an agent to help with coaching?
Yeah, it's a great question, and thanks for having me. I want to go back to what Chris said around scaling and making every rep your best performer, right? So with all of the change that's happening so rapidly in technology and buyer expectations, you need to make sure that your human sellers are the best that they can be. But unfortunately, right, sales managers don't have time to give sellers coaching 24/7, every deal, every stage of the deal. So that's where Agentforce can help scale, right? So taking the sales coaching that a manager might have to do and helping them scale that process and making sure that every rep has the personalized coaching they need to succeed. So without further ado, I'm just going to show you what this looks like. All right, so I'm stepping into the shoes of a sales manager here, and I want to do everything in my power to make sure my reps succeed. Unfortunately, I just don't have enough hours in the day to give them all the coaching that they need. Luckily, I can quickly configure this sales coach agent that will help me give my reps on-demand personalized coaching. So here in my agent studio, I've got a pre-built sales coach agent. So I'm a sales manager, don't know anything about Agentforce. It's already here right out of the box for me. And when I open up this sales coach in the agent builder, you can see here all of these pre-built topics and actions that are what help my coach to simulate compelling role plays with my sellers and give them feedback on how they're pitching to customers, right? So again, haven't touched anything out of the box. Now, I do want to make sure that it's specific to, my business and the way my sellers are selling. And in particular, recently, my reps have been mentioning that they're having difficulty responding to competitors and getting into these tough negotiations. So I'm going to go ahead and augment coach's knowledge here with some of these materials, like our recent company messaging and positioning, as well as some analysis of our common competitors. So what I'm hoping to do is make sure coach can give them really actionable feedback on how to handle these competitive negotiations that are coming up. In addition, When I head over into the prompt builder, again, I don't need to know anything about writing prompts, including merge fields. This is all done for me out of the box. So it's pulling in all of that relevant CRM information about the deal, the stage of the deal. And all I've done here is made one quick customization to reflect some of that competitive information that I want Coach to give feedback on. So when my reps do a role play or pitch to a customer, Coach can actually give them feedback on how they are handling the competition. So in a matter of minutes, right, I've made some quick customizations to make sure the Coach is giving feedback that's specific to my business. And now I'm gonna let my sellers take it for a spin. Okay, so stepping into the shoes of a seller, I've been working on this deal with Omega for what seems like an eternity. And finally, I'm progressing to that final negotiation stage. So my Coach here lives on the opportunity, and I have access to this Coach whenever I want, whenever I want. And what he's gonna do is help me make sure I'm prepared to talk to the customer ahead of that meeting. So since Coach knows I'm in the negotiation stage, he's gonna go ahead and recommend that I do a role play with him. And when I open up my Coach here, you can see it's pulling in all of the information about the deal and giving me some tips for success in this role play. And when I hit start, Coach will go ahead and simulate the buyer. So let's see what Coach has to say.
Hello, I am glad we could connect today and I am ready to discuss this deal.
Thanks so much for taking the time. I wanted to make sure I was taking time to address any last-minute questions or considerations you may have.
Thanks for that. I do have a few points I'd like to discuss. Firstly, can we talk about the pricing? I've noticed that ClearTech offers a more competitive rate. Can we work on adjusting the price to match or beat their offer?
I'm glad you brought that up. While ClearTech's pricing may look lower upfront, we actually include in our price a lot of implementation services and ongoing support to help you maximize the value of our product.
I appreciate that, but we are really focused on the bottom line. If we could get a discount or some additional services included, it would make a big difference. Can we find a middle ground on the pricing?
Totally hear you, that makes sense. What we can do is explore maybe a shorter term contract up front to help you realize the value and then extend over time. How does that sound?
That sounds like a reasonable approach. Could you provide more details on what a shorter term contract would look like in terms of pricing and services included?
And I'll go ahead and end the role play there because Coach is a tough negotiator and I'm not so great at negotiation. That's why I'm in product, not sales. All right, after that role play, right, Coach was really pushing me in this competitive negotiation, and Coach will also go ahead after the role play and give me some feedback that's really specific to how I did in the role play, that's pulling in all of the data about the deal, as well as all of that competitive intel that my manager customized it with up front. So here you can see Coach has gone and given me another deal summary, as well as some of my key strengths in the role play. So I did a good job acknowledging the customer's concerns, as well as, surprise, some areas for improvement. So really valuable, and as a rep, I can go ahead and role play with my Coach as many times as I need to make sure that I am prepared to make the most of the time with the customer when I go into that meeting. And stepping back into the shoes of a sales manager, right, now I feel much more confident that my reps have what they need to succeed and handle all of these competitive negotiations with ease.
Maddie, I love that. And Coach is tough, by the way. He's like the San Antonio Spurs coach, Greg Popovich of sales right there. But you kind of need a coach to be tough, right? To fully prepare your reps. I was watching that and kind of thinking like, he's kind of like the coach. Coach is like a plumber just trying to plug any leaks in your pitch, right? Just making sure it's as ready to go as possible. I love it. And I know you already have some customers using sales coaching. I'm wondering, what's been the feedback so far?
Yeah, it's been fantastic feedback. I mean, when I talk to it's like, who doesn't want a coach, right? Like, I could use a coach in my job, someone that's giving me actionable feedback. And Chris mentioned that, we're using it for our own sellers. And as you can imagine, there's constant change in our business, right? Like new messaging, new products that our reps need to get up to speed on. It's imperative that they're able to practice and make sure that they're making the most of the time with the customer. So really using Coach helps us scale, helps our managers scale, and make sure that our reps are performing the best they can.
Yeah, can we expand Coach's abilities to help me time manage? That'd be great. I would love that in the next edition.
That's on our roadmap,
right. Yeah. I imagine like people are loving this, Maddie, but it feels as if it's like the future, but it's happening right now and it's available now. I know we always like to stay one step ahead though when it comes to innovating. So tell us about that roadmap you just talked about. What's next when it comes to coaching?
Yeah, so you've seen just sort of how quick it is to get going out of the box. We really want to make it as seamless as possible and for Coach to evolve to be as personalized as possible. So you can think about, having knowledge about sellers' skills and more information about how to help them improve overall. Not to mention, bringing in more coaching on real customer calls too. So really excited about the future. Like I said, who doesn't want to coach, right? And we're excited about the evolution over time.
Maddie, I got a personal request. Can you make my coach like in the voice of Beyonce? That's all I'm asking. Is it possible?
We only do Rihanna.
Oh!
Sorry.
I love it, Maddie. Thank you so much. Crowd, give it up for Maddie. We're going to see you again at the end of the show to answer some viewer questions. And now let's hear from a customer who's using Agentforce for coaching. Precina Health is an innovative healthcare company. My colleague Diane Mazzota caught up with founder and CEO Dr. John Oberg about how Agentforce is already making a difference for practitioners and patients.
Well, John, thank you so much for joining us. Can you take a moment and just describe to us what is Precina Health and what's its mission?
Precina Health is a medical practice that has been designed specifically to end chronic disease, starting with type 2 diabetes. We have all the medicine we need, we have all the technology we need, all the devices we need, and people still aren't getting healthy. And so we went in and said, how do we put all these things together in a way that people are going to get healthy? And we went out and did a pilot study in rural Louisiana. We had 50 patients who were very sick, and 12 weeks later, we had 49 of them controlled their diabetes. And so we know we have the answers to fix type 2 diabetes, but it takes an entirely different approach to the medicine, to the behavioral health, and to just the human relationships that are super core to fixing this really big problem in the world.
Wow, that is incredible innovation and really inspiring. Now, when it came to Agentforce for sales, what were the goals you were looking for?
We're a medical practice, not a technology company. And so we wanted to be able to say, okay, where are there people who are making real advancements in artificial intelligence that can help us do things? And Salesforce had a great platform. And then when we saw AI for sales, we knew that what they were building for salespeople could impact the way that we intervene with patients from a behavioral health perspective. And so that was really important when you think about what sales coaches do for salespeople. We knew we could use that for providers and say, okay, we know we've got to teach doctors and nurse practitioners how to do things that they didn't learn in school. And so how can we have people practice endlessly, time after time after time without a manager ever getting tired and being able to do that cost effectively? And so that sales coach inside of the Sales Cloud worked so well for us to be able to do that.
We love to hear customers share their stories like that with us. Now, I want to touch back on coaching, which you mentioned. What does the implementation of Sales Coach look like for your team?
Recently, I just asked our team to practice once a day, like they're warming up for every single day of professional calls. And I joke with them that, real professionals in any industry warm up before they actually do their job. So if you think about musicians in an orchestra, they warm up before every single performance. Athletes warm up before every single game. Well, I want our providers warming up every day before they talk to patients, so they come in feeling warm and ready to talk about what we do in a way that's really compelling. And Sales Coach allows us to do that.
So what have been some of the big takeaways as you've implemented Sales Coach?
I think there's been a couple of things we're really excited about. One is the infinite scalability of our team's ability to practice without judgment. And so when our team goes in and they get coached on different topics along the way, they can practice over and over again and not have to worry about what the coach thinks about them. And I think that creates a much safer environment for them to try things and see how it's being received. And the AI never gets tired. So if they want to practice before work, during work, or after work, the AI just doesn't get tired. And that makes my life easier. And I know that the coach is always taking our providers back to the Precina way. It makes a much easier future training process for us. And then if we get better, we can teach the AI how we've become better, and it immediately incorporates that into its coaching of our team.
What has the timeline been from sort of learning about Agentforce to actually getting it up and running and seeing results?
It's been incredibly quick. We've been able to be, Salesforce has been really responsive, and then our team has been able to be really responsive as well. We have a small team to respond to, and our company is a small business, so we can actually move fairly quickly. But we still have all the safeguards in place. We have a board of directors, we have AI governance policies, and we're finding it very easy to navigate all of that. So it's been far less difficult than building agents from scratch, which has been very, very nice.
Well, John, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for your time. It's been so great visiting with you.
And we love hearing from our customers. Our thanks to Precina and to Diane for bringing us their story. Quick reminder for those viewers on Salesforce Plus, if you got any questions, add them to the chat and we'll make sure we can try to answer as many of those as possible at the end of the show. All right, so we've shown you how Agentforce helps with sales development and coaching. Now it's time to talk quoting, because yeah, Agentforce does that too. To tell us more, we're joined by Meredith Schmidt, EVP and GM of Revenue Cloud. Meredith, so excited to have you joining us here. Tell us about your involvement with quoting. What's your role?
I love me some quotes, I'll tell you that. So I've been with Salesforce for 20 years. The first 15 years I actually spent building out revenue operations for Salesforce. And I saw all sorts of opportunities working between sales and finance. They told me, go make sales, love finance. I'm like, how are we going to do that? I did work in finance. But I saw this opportunity for automation. But you know what was missing?
What's that?
The quote. So I went to our Sales Cloud product team at the time, and I said, I need a quote object built in Salesforce, please. And they said, oh, that's a good idea. So there we go. That is the beginning of quoting at Salesforce. About 2006, actually, is when we first did that. What's so exciting now, fast forward to today, I have the privilege of working now with our product team in building out the product I always dreamed of, Revenue Cloud, built on the Salesforce platform natively, right? And by doing this, we actually purposefully, I should say, we're Agentforce ready. And really, Agentforce supports any part of the transaction across your quote to cash, right? Think about it. You start with quoting. You've got to process an order, close the opportunity. You've got to bill it and collect it. There's a lot that goes into this, right? So imagine agents doing all this for you, working with Agentforce. Simple things like I may have bought 10 seats of Sales Cloud, but the customer wants 5 more. That's usually a phone call to the salesperson. They've got to create a new order. Not anymore. Right? This is self-service. This is what quoting is all about, right? So we talk about quoting. Quoting is the first skill we've launched. There's many more to come.
I love all of that, Meredith. And to me, it's what you mentioned to me before. It's like you're taking away some of the stuff that it's time consuming. It's not the fun stuff, you know?
It's not the fun stuff.
It's not the fun stuff.
No.
I do want to dive a little deeper because it almost sounds too good to be true, right? So what does quoting actually look like in Agentforce?
Well, the Agentforce will create the complete quote for you. And you'll see that in a moment. But I think it's really important to emphasize that Agentforce follows the same guardrails as the sellers, maintaining role-based access permissions. This is super important. Agentforce won't do something that the seller can't do. They can't approve their own quote, for example. An approval Agentforce will do that for you. But they're accurate. Right? And we've built Revenue Cloud on the Salesforce platform. We have a unified product catalog. We have a product and rules configurator. This is really important. This is how we get all the business rules in the system enforced. Now, Agentforce is doing that. What they're doing and why that's really important is by the time the quote is sent to the customer, it's not going to get rejected by those people in finance, which was one of the biggest worries we had back then. I think we were rejecting like 80% of our quotes when we started because you were missing approvals. You sold the wrong products together. This is what Agentforce is doing, is taking your business rules with the permissions, right? This is game changer, right? I know that it goes out and it can be signed and processed. And not just a new business, right? You're amending in a subscription business with consumption. There's continual add-ons, renewals. You need to summarize that account data. Agentforce can do that for you. And I think it's time to let us show you what Agentforce is going to do.
Yeah, you got me hyped. I'm like, oh, I want to see this. Let's do this. All-star solution engineer in the house, Vance Fan, standing by to demo how quoting actually works in Agentforce. Vance, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Meredith. Thank you, Carrie. And for the next few minutes, I want everyone to pretend that I am a sales rep, I am fast talking, and I am well-dressed. I am now logged into Salesforce, and of course, I know a lot about my customer, and it's in familiar records like the account and opportunity. Now, on the sidebar, I have Agentforce open, and I'm chatting with it. I'm using natural language. I'm talking to Agentforce the way that I would with a normal person. Now, traditionally, most quoting systems, no matter how robust, it's a lot of manual work. I'm picking products by hand. I'm figuring out my pricing. I'm putting in things like a subscription term. All of these things take time, and all of these things take clicks. And this is time away from me talking to the customer. These are clicks that I may misclick and miskey. These are more opportunities for error. But with Agentforce, all of those capabilities that it took to make Revenue Cloud omni-channel, to be able to service any way you want to buy or sell, to Meredith's point earlier, all of these things power Agentforce as actions. Now, based on the actions and capabilities that we've enabled Agentforce with, it's created a quote for me. It's respected all configuration rules. I know that these are valid products I can sell to customer. It's respected any pricing that we've pulled from the correct catalog. In addition to that, looking at the bottom of the screen, Agentforce isn't just automating things for me. It's also giving me intelligent recommendations. It may be recommending upsells that represent a valuable source of revenue to the company. It may also look at historicals and understand that I might want to lead with a pretty decent discount on specific products. If these things make sense, I can click on any of these recommendations and have Agentforce apply them for me. And this could be really valuable if I had a 100-line quote, for example, where I don't want to scroll through all of my software and apply the discount by hand. But for a small quote like this, maybe I just want to put in a 15% discount. I can do that because Agentforce isn't here to replace me. It's here to make my job easier. So with the quote that Agentforce has already staged for me, I've applied that 15% discount, and instantly, not only has that discount applied and provided a new net unit price for me, it's also writing into what we call the price waterfall within Revenue Cloud. This is delineating what price we pulled from the catalog, what price the system applied based on a volume discount, and what manual negotiation I've applied. This is information that's going back into Agentforce to train it and make future transactions smarter. So now, in a traditional, quote unquote, pun intended, CPQ process, we've configured, we've picked the products, we've priced, we've negotiated, and now we need to send something out for our customer to review. With our doc engine, everything I've done so far is being merged into a PDF document that we can send out to the customer for them to look at and for them to hopefully execute on. Now, at this last stage, most CPQ systems, most quoting processes will have you do this manually. You'll download this PDF that you just created, and you'll put it in an email, you'll write the email, and hopefully it's pretty personalized, and then you'll wait. But even at this stage, the AI that powers Agentforce is automating and making this process easy for us. When I look at this quote PDF, I have here the ability to just hit email. All I need to do is to provide a contact that is already within my CRM. When I hit draft, I have pre-built templates, and I just need to confirm the quote document that I want to send out. Agentforce and our Salesforce AI is looking at the quote, looking at the document, seeing all the commercials and the financials based on what we negotiated, and it's putting together a personalized quote message for us. It's taken so much work out of this, and all I need to do is I can add any color I need on top or send it out at the touch of a button. What you've just seen here is not just eliminating over half the clicks, but also half the time. Again, this is less opportunity for me to make mistakes, and it's more time well spent in front of a customer actually talking to them. And with that, Meredith, Carrie, back to you.
I love that, Vance. And audience, give it up. That was incredible. demo. And Meredith, this is something we talked about before, but to me, you're not just saving minutes, right? If you extrapolate the amount of time you're saving across a team, across time, we're talking months. Like, God, like a lot of time is basically what I'm getting at. And you alluded to earlier, like other Agentforce capabilities beyond quoting, right? That are coming down the road to support that complete revenue lifecycle. What can you share about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And you just kind of hit on it, right? When you look at quote to cash and you look at this part of our Sales Cloud, right? When you look at revenue, it does start with a quote, but we actually connect with the back office and what people call the middle office these days. We have so many people in so many roles across a company involved in processing a transaction, right? So think about negotiating a contract. We'll have an Agentforce do that with you. Processing an order, Agentforce can do that. Bill, collect, Agentforce can do that. It can do it all. And it's so exciting. So it's really the time, one, in front of your customers, doing more value-added jobs. But when you add this up across the life cycle of revenue, I mean, we're touching and changing lives and just making such innovation. It's so exciting. I mean, I don't think the billing department has seen innovation like this since the spreadsheet. And I think what's really exciting about this is Revenue Cloud, because we're built on the Salesforce platform and because we built API first, customers can build this on their own right now. And we just saw on LinkedIn like 2 weeks ago, a customer who created their own custom actions. They showed us suspending billing and previewing invoices, all with Agentforce. I mean, I had to call this guy. I was like, this is amazing. So it's just, the point is, it is so easy to build and customize, and this is the moment, and Revenue Cloud was really made for this part in this moment in time.
I love that anecdote because it's the customer doing it on its own and speaking to just how easy it is to use this groundbreaking technology. Like you just said it and it summarizes everything. Agentforce can do it, right? Agentforce can do that. Laundry, Agentforce can do it.
Probably.
I mean, just not yet, but I'm just getting
I'm waiting for the Jetsons.
Yeah, right? But here's the thing, Meredith, and this is what I really love talking about. It's easy to talk about all the things Agentforce can do, but at Salesforce, we truly do walk the walk, right? We're not just all talk. Tell us about how Salesforce is actually using Agentforce ourselves to quote.
This is probably my favorite story, because of course Salesforce is always my favorite customer. But it's where my heart started. It's back to this agent, back to this quote we created in 2006 to solve this problem. So Salesforce is one of our very first customers to go live on our new Revenue Cloud product, right? At Dreamforce, we started dreaming up Agentforce. How is it going to apply in revenue? We started talking about quotes. And we just talked about how easy it is and how a customer can do it by themselves. You know what our team did in IT? They went back after Dreamforce, as we talked about quoting, they had a working prototype in one day around the quoting agent. And we really worked with our own IT team to help accelerate and launch this for our customers. I mean, it's just so exciting. And I think my favorite part, and what we've always wanted, is for our customers to use the same solutions that our own sales teams get to use every day.
Working prototype in one day?
I kid you not.
Come on.
Yes.
That's incredible. Meredith, thank you so much. You'll be back at the end of the show to answer some more questions. And right now, though, let's kind of double click into how Salesforce is using Agentforce to quote. Our next guest is Ankit Mehta, Senior Director, Quote to Cash Strategy and Solutions. He recently chatted with my colleague Diane Mazzota about Agentforce's impact on Salesforce.
Ankit, thank you so much for joining us. Now, Salesforce is Revenue Cloud's customer zero when it comes to Agentforce's quoting skills. And as someone who's had to write quotes myself, it is laborious. Can you talk to us about the pain points that you were looking to solve by implementing Agentforce?
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for having me. First of all, let me tell you that we are very excited to be customer zero for Revenue Cloud and Agentforce. So one of the big challenges that we were looking to solve was a significant time and effort spent by our sales team to create quotes and present them to our customers. Because a significant amount of time would go into entering information manually to get started. Sometimes they would have to deal with some validation error messages to resolve in order to move forward. And finally, they would wait on quite a few approvals to complete this task. So not surprisingly, a common feedback from our sellers was that quote creation is too complicated and that it often gets in the way of our sales team to provide the best possible service to our customers with scale and agility.
Right, so let's get into it. How is Agentforce transforming the way our sellers do business?
Well, really well. Last year, we launched the coding agent. It is a conversational agent that can quickly create multiple customer-facing quotes based on a seller's command. So the sellers now spend less time in manually creating quotes and more time helping our customers to be set up for success. This also helps the newer sellers to ramp up fast without always needing to look up the how-to guides on how to create quotes. So the coding agent is truly providing a white glove service to our sales team. And what's even more impressive is the fact that in only a matter of 2 weeks, our teams were able to present the initial prototype of the coding agent to a focus group of sellers here at Salesforce. From there, we quickly iterated to incorporate their feedback, and we launched the coding agent to production. This rapid delivery was made possible by combining the power of Agentforce and the Revenue Cloud's highly modular APIs.
Now, I think I had heard that you're able to create multiple quotes in Agentforce. Is that true?
Absolutely, yes. They can issue one command and it can create multiple quotes. Those are generally helpful to help our customers visualize various purchasing scenarios.
So cool and so powerful. So looking ahead, what results and achievements are you looking forward to with the implementation of Agentforce? It sounds like you're off to a great start.
Yes, we are. And the initial numbers speak for themselves. By using the coding agent, it takes our salespeople 33% fewer clicks and 65% less time in creating code. So that's a huge savings. We can confidently say that we have heard and resolved a huge problem for our sales team because of that. Because the feedback that we hear from them now, from the sellers that have tried the coding agent, is that they cannot imagine going back to the old manual ways of creating the code. And we talked about the example of creating multiple purchasing scenarios. That's really a transformational experience. And the agent can generate those proposals that help our customers to visualize different purchasing options. All of this leads to a significantly better experience for our sales team as well as for our customers.
Exciting, transformational. Thank you so much for joining us, Ankit.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And a shout out to Ankit and also to Diane for bringing us all those customer stories. Whew, we've learned a lot today, right? Right, audience? Like, y'all know, like, y'all still engaged, though. Everything you've seen on this show, all the customer stories, all the demos, you can catch those at the link on your screen. We'll drop it in the chat for you. But of course, hey, look, I'm sure you still have questions, and keep posting them in the chat. We got you. We've got some answers from our Agentforce All-Stars, so let's welcome back to the table Chris Bellmeyer, EVP and GM of Sales Cloud, Meredith Schmidt, EVP and GM of Revenue Cloud, along with our Agentforce product experts, Madeline Gill and Victor Liu. All right, we're all at the table now, so it's family dinner style, right? We've got some questions, and the first question is live from Joan on Salesforce Plus, and it's for you, Chris.
All right.
How can customers get started with Agentforce?
All right, that's a great question. We actually launched a product at Dreamforce this year, which we call Salesforce Foundations, because we knew that customers, a lot of them are still single cloud. So we really wanted to unlock the Customer 360, Agentforce, and Data Cloud for everyone. Because remember, great AI starts with great data. And Foundations has everything you need to bring your data together and get ready for AI so you can start building. And the great news is we're bringing all this to customers who are Enterprise Edition and above for free. So you can get started, you can have your first 1,000 conversations with agents included at no cost, and you can really see the value before you commit, and we're really excited about it.
Free.
Yeah, nothing better.
I know, nothing is, I love that word when it comes to business. Free, give it to me. We got some more questions. Oh, actually, we've got a QR code on screen so you can actually learn more about what Chris just mentioned, how to get started with Foundations. We're also gonna put a link in the chat, so go ahead and click that. We got some more questions coming in. Questions about customization. So how can customers ensure these agents are customized to their specific industry or customer? Victor, we'll start with you.
We built these agents as templates, but they're meant to be personalized and to be customized to match every company, every single industry. We can upload documents that's pertinent to what your business does directly through Data Cloud as that vector database. Or we can even embed in KPIs directly into the prompts themselves.
I love that.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you saw it live in the demo, right? Just how much there is out of the box, and then just some quick customizations to reflect competition or industry. Yeah.
Easy, I love it. More questions coming in. Looks like Timothy on Salesforce Plus has a question for you, Meredith.
All right.
Wondering, is the agent able to follow validations and other guardrails in creation of the quote?
1,000%. That's exactly the benefit that we're bringing, is all of the rules. The agent has learned all the rules, right? Because with Revenue Cloud, you're setting up product rules, you're setting up constraint rules in your configurator. You can buy this product, not that product. Pricing, right? There's pricing guardrails. So yes, there are guardrails across the system, but the AE, the seller, doesn't have to know about it, right? They're just following along, and the agent's actually doing it for them.
I love that. I'm loving all that. I feel like a broken record. Oh, I love that. But it truly is amazing. New question from TJ on Salesforce Plus. Can SDR agent reach out to leads, Victor? Can it prospect?
That's exactly where we are starting. This is one of those places where we really think teams could scale to be able to balance between personalization and mass quantities of leads that they could reach out to. We're going to be able to do it through automated outreach, through nudges, through answering product questions, having a back and forth conversation to help you book those meetings on demand.
Maddie, there's a question for you from Emily on Salesforce Plus. Can you also use Sales Coach in earlier opportunity stages like discovery?
Totally, it's a great question. I showed the role play in the demo, but I was actually talking to a large telecom customer the other day who said, hey, we've got a bunch of new reps, right? We want to make sure they're ready to talk to those first customers, those first leads. So that's exactly where you would use the coach to give them feedback ahead of talking to the customer.
This question is for everyone, but Chris, we'll start with you. Is there a longer list of Sales Agentforce use cases beyond the use cases demonstrated today?
Oh, absolutely. I think I started out by saying we're looking at the entire Salesforce fan and reinventing it entirely in the agentic layer. So you'll see a ton more innovation coming from us. Anywhere where automation, where agentic experiences can and should happen, we're going to make that happen to make our customers even more productive. And again, I'll say it one more time for you, to make your sales teams limitless. We're really excited about it.
Limitless. I feel like that's a big takeaway from the show. One more question here from Mark on Salesforce Plus. How can we get our hands on more training? I got this, y'all. I got this one. We can actually show you, because stick around for our live hands-on training right after this show. So easily taken care of. Chris, Meredith, Victor, Maddie, thank you all so much for sharing your expertise with us today. The live audience loves it. Let's see from the live audience. Give them a big round of applause. Live audience, reach under your chairs. You got a surprise, car keys. That is so not true. All right, if you want to learn more, we've made it super easy for you. I just mentioned you can reach out to an Agentforce expert via the link on your screen. We'll also drop that in the chat for you. And to all our viewers here at Salesforce headquarters, with me, online, thank you so much for watching 3 ways to unlock limitless sales with Agentforce. Head to salesblazer.com to learn more about joining this incredible community of sales pros. That's also where you'll find our brand new Agents for Sales playbook, along with valuable Agentforce resources and networking opportunities with like-minded sales experts.